The Bates family, who are adored for their huge family life and faith-filled journey, have received devastating news that has left fans and loved ones completely devastated. After giving birth to her third child, Lydia Bates, one of the younger daughters in the well-known Bates dynasty, is reportedly in severe condition. Tragically, what should have been a happy celebration of life has devolved into a nightmare, including anxiety, uncertainty, and fervent prayers for her recovery. Family insiders claim that things took a sharp turn after Lydia gave birth. Despite the baby's safe arrival, problems started to arise almost immediately. According to people close to the Bates family, Lydia was in serious medical distress and needed emergency care. Doctors and nurses worked non-stop to stabilize her. She is currently being closely monitored in the intensive care unit, where her loved ones feel as though every hour is a lifetime. The Bates family, renowned for their close relationship and dependence on faith in the face of adversity, has come together to support Lydia during this scary time. There have been reports of family members coming and going from the hospital, some of them clearly upset and clinging to one another for support. Without giving away too much, the Bates siblings' social media posts have alluded to the seriousness of the issue and asked followers to offer up heartfelt prayers for Lydia's recovery and fortitude. Many people who have followed Lydia's journey into motherhood are shocked by her unexpected health problem. With delight and respect, she has been posting pictures of her expanding family on the internet over the last 5 years, frequently discussing the joys and difficulties of parenting while maintaining her religious convictions. Supporters anticipated that she would experience another chapter of happiness with the birth of her third child. Rather, followers are inconsolable and devastated after learning of her dire health. Thousands of people have flooded social media with messages of support from all throughout the nation and abroad. Words of support, intercession, and prayer. Many long-standing fans of the Bates family have said that they have a strong emotional connection to Lydia's tale since they have seen her mature and adjust to her new roles as a wife and mother. They find this sorrow to be intimate, akin to witnessing the suffering of a close friend. Although doctors have not yet issued a comprehensive statement regarding Lydia's status, many who are experienced with the challenges of childbirth are aware of how quickly things can turn dangerous territory. According to medical authorities, she might have experienced severe bleeding, an infection, or another postpartum emergency, conditions that can quickly become life-threatening. As supporters anxiously await any indication of hope, the dearth of official announcements has just heightened the anxiety and conjecture. The Bates family has always relied heavily on their faith, and they are now more than ever depending on it during this tragic time. Chains of prayer have started going viral online, with whole communities coming together to support Lydia's mental and emotional well-being. Many people find this tragedy to be a sad reminder that, even in this day and technology, life is fragile and delivery is unpredictable. All eyes are on the family's updates as the hours go by. Even though the baby is reportedly safe and healthy, the situation's bittersweet reality weighs heavily on everyone who loves Lydia. Anxiety and uncertainty have eclipsed the happiness of welcoming a new life. Concerning the young mother's ability to survive, the husband of Lydia, who is currently dealing with the intense emotions of welcoming a new baby while worrying for his wife's life, has also received a lot of sympathy from fans. Many parents may relate to the dichotomy of happiness and sadness because they recognize how fleeting these moments can be, reminding him that he is not fighting this battle alone and that there are numerous people praying for him. Supporters are pushing him to remain strong. The history of the Bates family has always been about faith, love, and tenacity. However, this new chapter is definitely one of their most difficult to date. Fans everywhere are joining together in the hopes that Lydia will fully recover and come home to her family, including the sweet infant who now needs her more than ever. Whether through public expressions of support, private prayers, or tears, the world waits for now. Every little bit of positive news is treasured, and every update feels monumental. Despite being devastated and shaken, the Bates family has not wavered in their conviction that Lydia will survive. Her struggle for survival is evidence of her resilience and the steadfast devotion of her family and supporters. In the Bates family's history, what should have been one of the happiest days has turned into one of the most tragic. And thousands of people's prayers resound in unison while Lydia fights on in critical condition, sending a straightforward yet impactful message. Lydia, keep going. You are cherished. We need you. You're not by yourself. Lydia Bates, star of Bringing Up Bates, has been posting encouraging news about her family. The 26-year-old mother frequently shares her son Riker's early life experiences on social media. Recently, she also used YouTube to respond to some of the most often asked fan questions. One of them discusses her approach to dealing with online bullies and rumors. Bringing Up Bates. Following her miscarriage, Lydia Bates also discusses the baby. In her most recent vlog, Lydia addressed a number of topics, including her intentions to conceive after her miscarriage. The Bringing Up Bates star claims that she would adore having more children. She added that they are making every effort to maintain their happiness following a tragic loss. And if she ever had a rainbow baby, she would share the big news. In February, Lydia lost her baby. She even took pictures at the Bates family's yearly I Love You Day, when they announced their pregnancy. But after she experienced excruciating pain, things took a tragic turn and she spent many hours in the emergency room, which finally caused her to miscarry. However, Trace and Lydia maintained their faith in spite of the loss. In the same Q&A video, Lydia talks about how she handles online trolls. When a fan asked Lydia how she handles rumors and online trolls, Lydia responded. The Bringing Up Bates star claims that she prefers to ignore the majority of online criticism. Before stating that she and Trace would only deal with problems if they were significant, she stated, "I try not to read them and I try not to respond to them." Lydia Bates also took the Lydia Bates talks about her favorite aspect of being a mother, and some of the things she enjoyed about it. The Bringing Up Bates star said that she loves everything about being a mother, including the opportunity to talk about immigration issues with her family. She explained that everything has been a very slow process, and that they've been wanting to avoid talking about it because it involves sensitive topics and people have different opinions regarding the system. Lydia Bates later disclosed their big trip with her family in June, and Trace's wife acknowledged that they are more of a last-minute traveler, suggesting that they may have more getaways before June. She also stated that having fun with Reika was the first thing she always wanted to do every day. "I could spend every day going little walks, feeding him new little foods, exploring things with him," she added. The effects of online interactions on mental health are a growing concern. One of the most detrimental aspects of the internet's vast ecosystem is the phenomenon of online trolling, which many celebrities, influencers, and public figures deal with on a daily basis. Lydia Bates, a well-known influencer and content creator with a devoted following across multiple platforms, is one person who has found her own way to navigate these turbulent waters. Many social media influencers have gone through the highs and lows of social media. Her captivating personality, relatable content, and optimistic attitude have garnered her a sizable fan base, but her path to social media success hasn't been without its share of difficulties, including the unavoidable run-ins with online trolls. Lydia recently opened up about how she handles these unpleasant encounters, providing insight into how she keeps her mental health and optimistic outlook in the act of posting offensive, inflammatory, or off-topic messages online to provoke others is known as internet trolling, and it has existed for almost as long as the internet itself. With the rise of social media platforms like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok, trolling has become more common than ever before. For creators like Lydia Bates, who have a sizable fan base, trolling frequently takes the form of hurtful comments, cyberbullying, and, although dealing with trolls is not new to Lydia, she acknowledges that the anonymity of the internet creates a breeding ground for negativity and vitriol attacks. At its core, trolling thrives on anonymity. Many trolls feel empowered by the ability to hide behind fake profiles or anonymous usernames, which makes it easier for them to target others with hateful or hurtful messages without facing real-world consequences. One of the most significant lessons Lydia has learned over the years is the power of emotional resilience. When she first started receiving attention online, the harsh comments were hard to ignore. Like many others, she was hurt by the negative feedback, questioning her value and self-esteem. However, over time, Lydia started to learn how to process these interactions in a healthier way, ultimately changing her approach to internet trolling and building emotional resilience. As Lydia explains, their opinions are based on what they see on a screen, and more often than not, they are based on what they see on a screen. Rather than internalizing these negative remarks, Lydia has worked hard to build emotional strength by focusing on her own well-being and remembering that trolls often attack from a place of their own insecurities. I had to realize that these people don't know me personally. I know that if they were in a better emotional place, they wouldn't feel the need to lash out. Although Lydia says the process of developing emotional resilience is continuous, she says it has made a difference. She stresses that emotional resilience isn't about repressing one's emotions, but rather learning how to manage them effectively. She learned to stand back when faced with hate, and try to comprehend that the troll's words aren't a reflection of her true worth. Setting boundaries and taking care of herself is important for Lydia Bates, because it helps shield her mental health from the negative opinions of online trolls. It has also helped her become more understanding of others who suffer from similar forms of online harassment. By keeping an eye on the wider picture, and refusing to let the negative opinions of strangers define her, Lydia has been able to develop a more balanced perspective on online interactions. In order to manage this, Lydia has established clear boundaries regarding her online presence. Although it may seem counterintuitive for someone who thrives on social media engagement, Lydia understands the value of knowing when to take a break and step back. Lydia acknowledges that social media can be all-consuming, and that it can be difficult to avoid being influenced by it when you're constantly receiving notifications. Lydia also stresses the value of self-care techniques like journaling, meditation, and spending time with close friends and family, especially after reading critical remarks or receiving personal attacks. By doing things that encourage mindfulness and relaxation, Lydia makes sure she stays centered and grounded even when she receives criticism online. I've discovered that the more I look after myself in real life, the less I'm affected by the negativity online. Shares. I make sure I'm surrounded by people who encourage me and remind me of my value. Another key component of Lydia's approach to combating trolls is establishing a positive, encouraging online environment. Despite her inability to control other people's behavior, Lydia deliberately works to curate her online spaces in ways that promote positivity, such as actively interacting with her devoted followers and taking the time to respond to encouraging messages and comments. Lydia says, "It's easy to get caught up in the negativity, but when you have a community of people who genuinely care about you, it makes all the difference." Lydia also uses her platform to openly share her experiences with trolls with her followers, using her platform to raise awareness about the harmful effects of online harassment in the hopes of inspiring others to stand up against it. I try to spend more time focusing on the people who are kind and supportive. We need to use our platforms for good, to educate people about the impact their words can have. By sharing my experiences, I hope to encourage others to think before they post and to treat people with more empathy. One of the most transformative changes Lydia has experienced in her approach to internet trolls is the ability to shift her perspective. Instead of focusing on the hurtful comments or trolling, we need to make safer, more supportive online communities. It's difficult to be angry at someone when you realize that their trolling is coming from a place of pain. Lydia reflects. I try to remember that hurt people hurt people. Rather than feeling personally attacked, she now approaches trolls as people who are frequently dealing with their own problems. I decide to react with compassion rather than with more negativity. Or occasionally I just decide not to reply. Not at all. This change in perspective has not only made it easier for Lydia to cope with trolls, but it has also made it possible for her to find calm in previously anxious situations. It's a strategy based on empathy and understanding, which has helped Lydia stay true to herself and keep her peace of mind in an often overwhelming digital world. Even though Lydia is prepared to handle online trolls, she is not alone in her struggles. She attributes a lot of her emotional fortitude to, and resilience in the face of adversity to her solid support network. Lydia has found strength in her interactions with people, whether they are her family, close friends, or other influences who are aware of the difficulties of being in the spotlight. Lydia says, "My family and friends have been really encouraging during this journey. They serve as a reminder that the opinions of trolls are merely noise, and that they do not define me. They assist me in maintaining my concentration on the important things." Lydia also keeps up with a network of other influential people who offer guidance and assistance when required. Talking to someone who understands exactly what you're going through is really comforting, she says. When things go hard, we support one another, vent to one another, and exchange advice. Lydia is now an advocate for online safety and anti-bullying campaigns as her platform keeps expanding. She understands that trolling can have major repercussions for individuals who are subjected to it, in addition to being emotionally devastating. Targeted. Lydia wants to raise awareness of the value of making online environments safer and inspire others to take action against cyberbullying through her advocacy activities. I've always thought that I should use my position for the greater good. In her work with anti-bullying organizations and campaigns, Lydia utilizes her voice to encourage people to speak out against online harassment, saying, "The more we talk about these issues and bring awareness to them, the more we can change the narrative around online harassment." To put compassion above cruelty and to oppose bullying. She exhorts her followers to inform others about the negative impacts of cyberbullying and to report trolls. For people in the public eye, dealing with internet trolls is an unavoidable aspect of life. But for Lydia Bates, overcoming this difficult social media feature has been a path of self-care, resiliency, and personal development. Lydia was able to cultivate emotional resilience, establish boundaries, surround herself with positive people, and keep a network of helpful people. Has discovered strategies to maintain her success in the online community, while safeguarding her mental health. Even while there will always be trolls online, Lydia's experience serves as a reminder that we don't have to be defined by their nasty remarks. We can all cut through the clutter and concentrate on what really counts: kindness, connection, and the pursuit of happiness, by having empathy, understanding, and a sound viewpoint. They were informed that they had 4 weeks to depart the nation and return to Germany. The Romick family has been given an additional year to remain in the U.S. The decision by Immigration and Customs Enforcement to postpone their deportation will take effect on October 11th. Since homeschooling is prohibited in their home country, Hugh and Hannah Rowe, who are evangelical Christians, relocated to East Tennessee in 2008 with 5 of their children. The United States is where their 2 youngest children were born. Lydia, their eldest daughter, is married to Gil's son Trace Bates. Kelly Bates as well. The family was supported by the homeschooling community. This is fantastic news. Our friends on Capitol Hill tell us that your calls, your petition signatures, and your outreach to Congress on this topic are directly responsible for this result. The Homeschool Legal Defense Association's executive director, Joel Grew, posted on the group's website. The IC officer in Knoxville, with whom I had a direct conversation, informed me that we should expect them to extend the order of supervision for an additional year. Additionally, although we are really appreciative of this news, and will keep pushing for a long-term solution that would provide the Romick family to remain in the U.S. permanently. Kevin Bowden, an HSLDA lawyer, informed Grew. Legislators from Tennessee even became engaged in the matter. More than 100,000 members of the community signed a petition to the Joe Biden administration, requesting that officials restore the Romick family's deferred action status after learning that they were being deported. Additionally, a letter was signed by 45 lawmakers from Tennessee to request that they refrain from deporting the family. The letter said, "We are requesting that you and your office allow this family to continue constructing their lives in Tennessee." According to what we hear, a court has decided that they can remain forever as long as they comply with the ICC's check-in requirements. They have been faithful in doing so, as far as we know. Still, this is really a short-term circumstance. It seems too harsh to approve of this family, who have made several contributions to our community, county and state, and superfluous. As time is of the essence, we ask that a review of their circumstances be made, and at least give this family more time. The letter went on to say, at least for now, they have been given that extra time, but it feels like this case is far from over. The Romick family does not have legal immigrant status in the United States, and the Rome are not legal U.S. citizens. Instead, they have been allowed to stay in the country on indefinite deferred action status, which according to the Tennessean, allows for. Their indefinite deferred action status means they could be asked to return to Germany with little notice. Lydia is married to a reality TV personality. In 2010, A judge granted them asylum because they had a well-founded fear of persecution by the German government for wanting to homeschool, and were facing $9,000 in fines. The U.S. Department of Justice appealed the decision, and in 2012, the U.S. Board of Immigration Appeals revoked their asylum status. A U.S. citizen's oldest daughter, Lydia, is married to Trace, and they welcomed their first child together, a son named Reka, this year. The Bates family's friends from the popular TLC show Bringing Up Bates have been granted a temporary visa in an unexpected turn of events that has caught the attention of both political observers and reality TV fans. The family moved to Tennessee in 2008, and their 5 children would also be deported. Reprieve from deportation, following a protracted legal battle that has made the Bates family's connections to the immigration system and the difficulties of being an undocumented immigrant prominent. The Bates family, a well-known clan from the reality show Bringing Up Bates, has long been a source of fascination for viewers, as the show chronicles the daily lives of Gil and Kelly Jo Bates and their 19 children, depicting a vast. The Bates family is a close-knit, devoutly religious family that has developed a sizable fan base over the years, primarily because of their strong family ties, homeschooling, and conservative Christian beliefs. However, behind the scenes, the family circle of friends has been battling not only the day-to-day challenges of raising children, but also the harsh realities of the U.S. immigration system. The case that has received the most attention involves the family's longtime friends who have. These friends, who have been in the United States for a number of years without legal immigration status, have become essential members of the Bates family's life as caregivers, employees, and close confidants. Their involvement in the Bates household has grown over the years to the point where the family views them as nearly family. However, despite their close relationships and years of residency in the United States, they are now in danger of deportation. The legal process that led to the temporary stay has been lengthy and full of difficulties. It started a few months ago when the friends, who had traveled to the United States from Central America in search of a better life, were informed by the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement that they would soon be deported. The Bates family, who had depended on these people for support and help over the years, was shocked by the news. A nation divided. The deportation of the Bates family's friends coincides with a contentious immigration issue in the United States. For the Bates family, the stakes are personal because they are devoted Christians who believe in showing love and compassion to those in need regardless of their legal status. The nation is still sharply divided over how to deal with the millions of undocumented immigrants who live and work in the U.S. Some call for a more compassionate approach, arguing that many of these people are simply seeking a better life, while others call for stricter enforcement of immigration laws. The family has always been vocal about their beliefs in. Despite their efforts to support their friends, the legal system has been unforgiving, and the Bates family's friends have encountered many obstacles, such as having their asylum requests rejected, and living in constant fear of being deported back to a country they fled because of violence and instability, which was not unfounded. Many of their supporters have praised their approach to welcoming people from all backgrounds. After months of legal wrangling, it was revealed that the Bates family's friends had been granted a 1-year stay. Private to avoid further legal complications had originally come to the U.S. seeking refuge from dangerous circumstances in their home countries. As undocumented immigrants, they had little recourse in the face of the ever-present threat of deportation. The possibility of being sent back to a country in which they could face persecution, violence, or even death was a reality that haunted them daily. Of deportation. This was a major win for the people involved because it gave them some much-needed breathing room and an opportunity to stay in the United States while they pursued other legal options to stay in the country. The legal team that represented the friends of the Bates family put forth a lot of effort to convince immigration officials that the people in question had no criminal history, were gainfully employed, and had strong ties to the community. Cited political instability, gang violence, and a lack of basic human rights in their home countries as reasons for the dangers they faced if they were deported. Many view the granting of this 1-year reprieve as a rare victory in an otherwise dire situation for undocumented immigrants in the United States. While it does not guarantee a permanent stay, it does provide a small window of hope for those who fear being sent back to dangerous conditions. The Bates legal team worked tirelessly to defend their friends. Family supported them during the entire process. Gil and Kelly Jo Bates, along with their kids, said they were deeply saddened by the people who were being deported and repeatedly stated that they thought these friends should be allowed to remain in the United States. "We've known these people for years, and they've become part of our family," Gilbert noted in a statement after the stay was announced. "They've worked hard. They have been a blessing to others and have been kind to us." The idea of sending kids back to a dangerous area is hard to imagine. There has been some debate over the Bates family's steadfast support of their pals. The Bates family is being accused of encouraging people to breach the law by residing in the U.S. without the required papers by supporting the stay of deportation, according to critics of the family attitude. While some say that this creates a risky precedent, others assert that the Bates family is merely attempting to act in accordance with its moral and religious principles. The Bates family has been unwavering in their support despite the criticism. According to Kelly Jo Bates, "Our faith teaches us to care for the vulnerable. Temporary respite has been provided by the one-year deportation stay, but the emotional toll on the Bates family and their friends has been devastating. That includes those who find themselves in difficult situations, whether they are here legally or not. We believe everyone deserves compassion." In an interview, Kelly Jo Bates said, "We never know what's coming next." It has been a significant emotional roller coaster for the Bates family, who have watched their friends live in fear of deportation for so long.